If you want to learn how to grow your income and your impact, actually, it should be the other way around, impact always before income, then you've come to the right place because it's Nez Nation Live and you get to ask me anything you want. And we got a lot of special stuff lined up for you. So make sure you come on back, y'all. Welcome, one and all, to another episode of Nez Nation Live. Those of you who are joining us on the podcast, great to see you. Replay viewers, we love y'all. Let me know in the comments down below if you're watching this on the replay with hashtag NezPlay. I want you to put hashtag NezPlay for the replay viewers. So good to see you guys. Come on in. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you're new to who I am Professor Nez, your personal branding coach. I've been teaching my students and clients for over 20 years how to tell your story online so you can grow your impact and your income. We talk a lot about how to create content, how to build your business, how to advance your career. And I'm just really excited to be here today. It's so good to see you. Make sure as you're coming in that you smash that smash button. You hit that like button. Make sure you share this out because sharing is caring, y'all, as you know. And so one of the things that I want to do at the start of the show, I want to jump in and let everybody know a couple of things. It's so good to see Seti in the house, Sweeney Dunstan. Yes, Luis is in the house. Good to see you, Luis. And then we got our main man, Joseph Dexter, in the house. Make sure you share this out. Great to see you guys. I have a couple of announcements, and I'd like to share them with you, and I'd love to get your thoughts too. Also, we have a very special guest that, I don't do this often, but it's something that I'm kind of implementing and introducing to the live streams and to the channel as sort of an added perk and benefit. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. So we're going to have somebody come on that you know really well. So make sure you stick around, who's going to ask yours truly, your personal branding coach, a question. And I think it's going to provide a lot of value to you. And by the way, leave your questions in the comments down below around maybe 10, 15 minutes from now. And I'm going to answer them. And I'll answer them in order. I may ask you to repeat them, so I apologize. Hey, Lucy, good to see you. Lucy in the house on YouTube. Fantastic. Great to see you. So a couple of announcements right off the bat. And then we'll get to our guest and we'll get to some questions. And again, this is one segment of our personal branding live stream podcast called Office Hours with yours truly. We go live every Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And I answer all your questions about how to grow your impact and grow your income online. Whether you want to advance your career, start a side hustle, start and grow an online business, get your story out there. It's all about clarity in your messaging, right? Personal branding is just a phrase, but literally what it means is modern communications. It's digital storytelling. And so that's really important. And I love, I know that it's literally the main thing stopping everyone from doing what they love. Whether you go into an interview or whether you communicate yourself in the written form, in the oral form, doesn't matter. You've got to get your story clear so your audience can understand what you do. That's how you make income. But more importantly, that's how you make impact. And so it's really important. I'm very excited. Couple of announcements. Some of you guys know me for a while. You've been a part of the Nez Nation family for a long time. Two things. Number one, I have started a brand new channel. And if you look in the pinned comments on YouTube, you'll see that channel. I started a brand new shorts channel. Because, and I'll tell you why I did this. And maybe this will help you too if you're thinking about doing YouTube Shorts. And just really quickly, if you don't know what YouTube Shorts is, YouTube Shorts is basically YouTube's answer to TikTok. TikTok has really changed the game, especially when it comes to vertical video. Their rise in popularity and their rise in really tackling the Gen Z demographic is something that is taking the world by storm, obviously. And so this is kind of YouTube's answer to TikTok. And I don't know if I'm 100% convinced yet. I do like the fact that it's just so much fun to create, vertical videos that are fast, under 60 seconds. I have a lot of fun doing them, but I didn't find I was getting a lot of traction on my main channel. And so I took the advice of Daryl Eves and other people that I trust on Clubhouse. I know you guys are all on probably Clubhouse. Connect with me, by the way, on Clubhouse. And I decided to kind of branch off and start a shorts channel just to see what happens, because there's been some evidence that, separating those two, your main channel from your shorts channel, can actually help one another and draw traffic to your main channel. And plus, I just love creating shorts, and I don't want to, it's really about you, the audience, and I don't want to disrupt the flow of what you're used to on my main channel. So this is an experiment. I'm going to bring you along the journey. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to be anything that, has any real big bearing or big benefit to my brand or my content. All I know is that I love creating shorts, and anytime a platform offers a new feature, you got to take advantage of it, because that means they've really thought about it for a long time, and they're going to be pushing a lot more juice, the algorithm, to this new feature. It's the same thing with LinkedIn too. When LinkedIn Live came out, when native video came out, a lot of people kept asking me, Nez, how do I get LinkedIn Live? How do I get native video? How do I get all these features? Well, the key is you got to use the platform, you got to use the features and show up on the platform. And so the algorithm always favors those who show up consistently. Now, it doesn't just mean you have to show up consistently. You have to actually provide insane quality and really serve your audience and keep people on that platform the longest. But I'm bringing you along on this journey, and so if you want to use me as a guinea pig, I'm happy to do that. You know what? Nez did a shorts channel. Maybe I should too. Or you know what? I'm having a great time. Actually, let me know in the comments down below, how many of you are creating shorts on your YouTube channel, and what kind of traction are you getting? So kind of a two-part question. I'd love to hear, I'd love to know what kind of traction are you getting on YouTube Shorts, and I'd really, really appreciate it. George Fisher in the house. Good to see you. George Fisher is in the house. So good to see you guys. It's fantastic to be here. I missed you guys. It's, my last video that I published on this channel was my video about Mr. Beast and just dropping wisdom grenades on Clubhouse, which was just in and of itself, Jimmy being on Clubhouse is mind-blowing anyway. But then you further compound that with the amount of knowledge and wisdom. And it's no accident that Mr. Beast is going to surpass PewDiePie eventually and probably become the first YouTube billionaire. That's no accident. This dude is super, super smart, okay? And if you were in that room, let me know in the comments down below. But my last video, I haven't published a video in, it seems like forever, but it's only been like 3 days, 4 days. But I really am trying to commit to my content and really bringing as much value as I can. And so I'm really, really excited to see what happens with this YouTube Shorts channel. So in the pinned comment, if you would support this endeavor, in the pinned comment down below, you will see on YouTube, you will see a link to my Shorts channel. I would love it if you would subscribe. And let me know in the comments down below, do you like YouTube Shorts? Are you enjoying YouTube Shorts? Do you watch YouTube Shorts? What do you like about them? What do you not like about them? I'd love to know. Josephine is in the house. Good to see you, Josephine. And finally, Silver Fox, Darlene, how in the world are you? Great to see you. Welcome, welcome. So I'm really, really excited about that. Now, if you have any questions, this is office hours, by the way. It's our live Q&A. What I want to ask you to do is I want to ask you to kind of hold off, keep that question in your mind, or write it down, or, feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll try to come back to it if I can. But I want to get to your questions. I want to get to your questions. It's about you. But here's my second announcement. So my first announcement was on YouTube Shorts channel. My second announcement is I am implementing a new feature on my channel that, I really want to kind of go above and beyond for those of you who decide to become members of this channel. And so one of the members of my channel here, and if you want to become a member, just hit that join button down below. It's not, obviously, you don't have to. There's no pressure, nothing like that. But I just want to let you know some of the things that you might get besides private live streams, almost like private coaching. I'm going to be bringing in people on my show and really doing live on-air free coaching calls for members. And I've got one member who I'm going to bring in just a second. You know him really, really well. That I'm going to I'm going to answer his question personally. And so, I don't know if you know this or not, but, a lot of, consulting and coaching services can cost exorbitant amounts of money, right? And I've been doing this for over 2 decades, and so I don't come cheap either. And so my time is very valuable to me. And so I price my services accordingly. And so this is an opportunity. This was the whole reason that I wanted to create a membership program on my channel, was because I wanted to give you guys, because I kept getting messages and DMs from you guys saying, "Hey, Nez, can I get a few minutes with you? Can I get something? Can you answer this personal question about this and that? Or can I just meet with you on Zoom for 10 minutes? This is my way of offering that through memberships, where you don't have to pay thousands of dollars and you can still get essentially private coaching from me. And so you may want to consider joining down below. Seti says, personally, okay, we're talking about shorts. Personally, I feel shorts are really aimed at entertainment channels. Channels like mine, I'm not convinced, as people come looking for answers rather than short snippets. That being said, I'm open to it. Yeah, really interesting. I love the way you said that. Now, one thing that I think is really important, not only on YouTube, but any platform, is you have to be interesting and you have to be delivering with energy and a certain... I almost want to say you have to be entertaining in some sense, even information channels and how-to channels. Now, I'm not saying that you act all, you're not a thespian and you don't try to engage in histrionics and all that, but it is really important. Like I kind of, and I don't like labels, but if I were to kind of label my channel, I would label it as edutainment, because I bring a lot of passion and energy to every video that I do. And I know you do too, Seti. So it's interesting to see, shorts kind of, I agree with you. I think what we mostly see on shorts is what we mostly see on TikTok, which is funny, entertaining, silly pranks, things like that. But I'm going to try to do my thing, okay? And I'm not going to do the same thing that I do on my main channel, but it's not going to be too much of a deviation. And just to kind of experiment, it's going to be sort of my channel where I can experiment, because I love creating shorts. But I also know that I don't want to hurt my watch time. I don't want to hurt my average view duration. And, I know that I've been getting good responses from you guys on my main channel with some of my shorts, but I really want to try to see what happens if I just segregate that content production and just see what happens. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen, the first sneeze. It's just inevitable. I'm allergic to live streaming. It's just inevitable, just like it always is. I haven't sneezed in literally the last time I went live. I haven't sneezed. And then all of a sudden I go, well, actually, that's not true. We had like a dust storm not that long ago where we had Santa Ana winds in Southern California. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I'd love to hear, no, Gary Cantrell in the house. Good to see you. Yeah. So I'd love to hear how you guys are experimenting with shorts. And I'd also love to hear, what your experience is as somebody who consumes shorts. Do you enjoy shorts? Do you not enjoy shorts? And so I'm going to bring you along on that journey, and hopefully it's something that will bear fruit, because I love creating shorts, and that's that. Yes, Snez Nation, there it is. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to bring on our awesome member. Most of you guys know who he is. And again, if you want, perks like this, you may want to consider joining. Just hit that giant join button down below on YouTube. So I'm going to bring him in without further ado, and then I'm going to answer your questions. So keep your questions in mind. Please put them in the comments down below. Let's all welcome somebody we know really, really well, an awesome member of the Nez Nation family. Everybody say hello to our one and only, our main man, Joe Dexter.
What's going
Joe,
on?
what's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, Professor Nez, how you doing? I'm glad to be part of Nez Nation. I'm glad to... If I sneeze on this live stream, then we know it's all part of this electronic thing. Something's going on. But if I don't, then I don't know what to say. I really don't.
It's so strange. Like, I have no idea. It's like, it's got to be something with, it's got to be something in the air. It's got to be when I go live, just the megahertz or the electricals. I mean, I'm not a technical dude, but whatever juices are flowing in the air, it just, now to be fair, I do have pretty extreme allergies. I mean, I'm allergic to like literally everything. Pretty much I'm allergic to oxygen. But, I'm not allergic to food, obviously. As you can see, I have no allergies to foods. Thank you very much. But, when it comes to like cats, dogs, now, I actually love cats and dogs. But if I'm around them too long and I don't have a Benadryl or whatever, I will end up sneezing a lot. But hey, Joe, it's so great to have you, man. It's so great to see you. You're such an awesome member of the Nez Nation family, bringing more humanness to this digitalness. But let our audience know, before you ask your question, let our audience know a little bit about who you are and what you do. Do you mind?
Yeah, no problem. So I started my career from the age of 6. I wanted to be a radio DJ and baseball play-by-play guy. So from age 6, I wanted to get into broadcasting. I went to school for that, and I ended up getting a degree in electronic journalism and working in radio for 10 years and worked my way up from pushing the buttons on the boards all the way to operating 5 different radio stations in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Then, life happens, so you move on, and I got into newspaper. I worked there as well as a editor. I covered crime, covered sports, covered everything in the newspaper industry. And earlier this year, in about March, I had this change of heart, realizing that the media that I'm working for isn't doing the job that it should be doing. I'm not doing the job I should be doing as a journalist, simply because I don't have the resources given to me by the corporate entity that owns the newspaper we worked at. We serve 90,000 people, and we weren't even able to get a digital camera to take pictures for our newspaper. We had to use our phones that were bought by our own selves. So you notice that the corporation isn't going to care about the community, and I care about my community. So I stepped away. It started with actually being furloughed, which I was told you have to take a week off and not get paid, but we still are keeping you on board, but you have to decide to take a week off and not get paid and not work. So I used that week to determine what I wanted to do next, and ended up forming with several nonprofits in our area a concert that ended up raising $20,000 for our community to help feed hungry kids. And it was a live stream concert because of COVID. So from there, I was like, you know what? I can do this. I don't need to stick to the newspaper. I don't need to stick to the written word. I can use my skills as a former radio broadcaster to help serve my community. And that's what I've done since that March date. It took till June to end up to get the strength to quit the newspaper and step into what I wanted to do. But now, from that point on, I've focused on whether it's voiceover services, helping somebody launch a podcast, doing a live stream education or live stream type of situation. I did one for our local education foundation to raise money. We raised $5,000 for a college advising corps and a total of $20,000. And now that program is funded. I just get so much more joy out of providing positivity and doing that, even though it's not as comfortable as you think it would be. It's not as comfortable as getting that paycheck, even though if you're underpaid at a newspaper or what have you, and so many in the chat know that, but it's worth it to me to take that jump, and it's been so fun so far.
I absolutely love that, man. That's really, really cool. It really sounds similar to, because, the universities that I used to work at, a lot of people don't know this, but, I still teach part-time at the universities, and I teach business communications. I've been teaching business communications for over 15 years now. Before I got back into business after leaving my family business when I was 13, it was in the online space. And, it's so interesting, your story, because it sounds very similar. Like the universities just, and I don't know how many of you, it looks like Seti has a great comment here who can relate, being an educator. They for the most part just kind of basically stuck you on your own and said you got to do your own thing. They didn't provide any stipend, any extra funds to really create an atmosphere, a learning experience that was going to enhance and really complement what's happening in the world, like innovative changes.
Right.
And this is why, and I'm not going to get on an education rant because this could be a whole 2-hour show, but this is why everybody has been disappointed with the online learning experience that COVID, basically created, because they don't provide. These universities don't provide. And so, this is what's interesting though, is it kind of speaks to that kind of, I forget who said this, but what is it? Innovation is the father of necessity, or something like that, or sister of necessity, where you saw that this was not a situation that was complimenting you and supporting you, and you realized, I have something that I need to do for people. I want to serve. I want to create impact. And I decided to innovate and create your own kind of thing. And so I'm just super, super proud of you, man. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Seti says, same thing in education. I'm right with you, Seti. Teachers using their own devices. Yeah, this is fantastic. It's so great. So I want to thank you for being here, Joe, and thank you for being a member of Nez Nation. I want to get to your question. How can I help you today?
So some of the success, I've had some good success locally because I had those relationships and connections already with my experience at the newspaper, being in the community. My next step is trying to figure out, I've launched my own podcast. I have my own live stream. I do live streams for others in my community. But how do I branch my services as somebody that cares to help others in the platforms that we have and reach a bigger audience? Because at some point, this community of 90,000 is going to see enough of Joe Dexter that I got a face for radio. I was in radio for 10 years. There's a reason. So I need to know and figure out and learn, how do I move my platform to the next level as I continue to grow here locally as well, because I really believe in community and neighborhood. That's my number one thing. I believe you build your community with the people that love and trust and believe in you. And if you can do that, you can move mountains. And I care about this local community, but I also know that I've got 2 daughters that I'd like to take care of as well.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah. And you kind of already answered one of the questions I was going to follow up with you, is why do you feel that you need to scale? Is this about, and I have kids too, brother. And so I understand this, but it's really important to understand that everybody talks about growing and growing and growing and bigger and more and more. Well, sometimes more is not the answer. Sometimes scaling is not the answer. Like, you could drive yourself crazy. How much more do you really need? And so here's my first question to you is, I want to understand what's your kind of goal or hope by scaling and growing? Is it more income? Is it, more impact, which those two are really interrelated? How much more income? Like, are we talking like a few $1,000s more a month? Are we talking like, no, Nez, I want to go for the gusto? Like, what would you say? And let's try to be as specific as we can without actually getting too personal, obviously. But what would you say is like, hey, Nez, this is what I need, let's say, per month, in order to really sustain and take care of my family and do what I want to do? Or is that even something that you're thinking about?
It's not really anything I'm thinking about at this point. I make enough right now to supplement what I was already making before in my previous life. So I'm not concerned about revenue as much as maybe I should be. And I'm not the guy that I don't want to be Mr. Rich McDuck sitting on the mountain. I just want to be happy. And so if I can help serve others and grow my platform doing so, then I'm happy. You do bring up a good point. I don't need to be the number one guy that you go to. I just want to continue to build and show people that I can be there for you.
Yeah, and so that's great. That's fantastic. Yeah, and so like that's kind of why I always kind of start with that, and just to kind of really understand what your goals and objectives are, and then kind of reverse engineer that, and just try to figure out how to get there. And so I love how you said, my daughter asked me the other day. She goes, "Who's your favorite Disney character?" And my favorite Disney character, probably because when I was a kid I watched the cartoon all the time, was Scrooge McDuck. Just because I just love how he was real, and he was like, "What are you talking about? Make some money, get a job." Well, everybody else was like roses and very flowery kind of, everything's great, we're all lovely. But like, I love how you said you're not looking for this sort of, it's not about more money per se. It's about trying to serve. And I can say this without a shadow of doubt, Joe, you're doing fantastic just by being you and just by showing up. Not just showing up here at Nez Nation, but showing up for your community. Everybody in this chat would agree that you're somebody who provides unselfishly and unceasingly just your heart and soul in everything that you do. And I can tell that. I've been around people enough. I've coached enough people. I've taught enough people. I've worked with enough people to know that you're coming from a genuine space. And that's number one. That's first and foremost. So here's my other question to follow up. What are you, so it's about more impact. I love that. That's our premise. What are you doing now that you're trying to reach that? What are you trying to do right now? What has worked so far? What's not working so far? And then I want to get very specific.
Okay, so I live in a rural community. I can't ever say that word, rural. I live in a community.
Rural. It's a weird name. It's a weird word. Rural. I kind of like it though. It's funky.
We have 90,000 people spread out over a square mileage that's really big. So it's not an area where you're going to see a lot of people in a lot of places. And sometimes the technology is a step behind where you are, per se, in California. So right now, my focus is mostly on Facebook because the YouTube base here, people are still learning YouTube and how to use it. I know that sounds crazy, but so I use both. I do a live stream show weekly called In the Community, where I bring in community leaders and community guests to talk about the latest things that are happening in our community. And I've seen
that. It's great. I love that.
And I'm seeing some traction on that, on Facebook especially. And then I do a podcast called The Dexter Report, Real Conversations with True Community Leaders. I make it a point to tell people that I'm not interviewing your public official, the guy that was elected last week. I'm interviewing the people on the ground that are making a difference in our community. My goal has starting that locally, but all of my branding is for a national reach. So if I want to have somebody from a national reach that is a community difference maker, I can. And so I'd like to do that as well with my live stream In the Community. Just because it's for my community now, I want to make sure that it's a space later that can show all kinds of community leaders, because in my local community, in your local community, Nez, we need examples from different places to see from. So those are where I've started on. I love Twitter as well. I'm on Twitter all the time, but I'm not using it specifically as a tool. And then as all of us do as we start out, we start doing little things that can get us that money. And you do videos on this all the time that are key and paramount, in my opinion. I'm a salesperson for our local baseball team. I'm selling baseball ads there. I'm also doing little video projects for other entities in our little community. So that's where I'm focusing right now.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Joe, and you're doing great. And you already said that it's not really money is not the issue; it's about impact. And so, a great question here from Silver Fox, Darlene, who's one of our mods. Are you on LinkedIn yet? Have you leveraged the power of LinkedIn yet, Joe?
I don't know if I've leveraged the power. I feel the power. I'm on there. I put everything that I do on there that I can. For example, I think the video limit is 10 minutes, so I'll put a promo from the show up there and send people to the YouTube page or send it to that. And I'm connected with people. I'm not Professor Nez, though. I'm not a master of that.
Well, everybody, Professor Nez started with 0, right? So I've been building my business and brand on LinkedIn since 2006. And so we're talking 15 years here. Now, first off, I just want to say you're doing everything right. Okay, you're putting yourself out there. Twitter is more of a conversation starter. It's not really a content platform. The reason I mention LinkedIn is because with LinkedIn, you still have this beautiful potential for organic reach, which you don't have on Facebook and Instagram, and even a lot of these other platforms is really pay to play. Now, YouTube, you have a lot of longevity because of search and because of the algorithm. If you increase your click-through rate and your watch time, you're going to get that reach. But I would actually do 2 things. Number one, think about building an email list. Okay, you need to build a very powerful email list because people, that's the audience that you can have access to and the audience that you can own. And this was the biggest mistake I made early on in my online businesses was I was not even thinking. I was like, yeah, Facebook Live or Periscope or, and that's great. But the thing is those platforms, they own your audience. You don't. And so if they decide that they can decide your fate. And I don't like really putting my hands in somebody else's, my fate in somebody else's hands. So building an email list is really, really strong. And how do you do that? Well, like you said, I talk about this on my channel, having those different calls to action, having different kind of affiliate opportunities where, you can leave links in descriptions, or you can also, draw people from other areas. That's a great way to build your email list. Having a definite link that people can opt in on and, be subscribed to your newsletter. Obviously, you're serving your community and you've got a great local community. Do you have those community members on an email list?
You can go to joedextermedia.com and click on the top newsletter link. Now, I don't have the community members on there that I should. I just started doing that recently, and I haven't gone out and reached out to people and say, hey, join my newsletter yet. But I have worked on that part. And you bring up a good point because, as we've seen, any point in time, YouTube could be taken away from us. TikTok could be taken away from us. And so, I've started that process.
And not even taken away from us. In all likelihood, I know a lot of people say that. In all likelihood, YouTube's going to be here forever. LinkedIn's going to be here for a long time. Facebook's going to be here for a long time. But the algorithms change. Yeah, you don't own it. And plus, the algorithms change. And so I have over 1,500 followers on my Facebook page, but only 2 of them see my content. Why is that? If they're following my following my Facebook page, why are they not seeing the content that I put on there pretty much on the daily, right? And so that's kind of funky. So Facebook used to be that, back in 2013, 12, you used to be able to post and everybody who followed your page, everybody who followed you would see it, right? That's not the case anymore. It's just not even close. Same thing with Instagram, implementing hashtags. But that's really kind of that's small stuff. The big thing that I want you to kind of focus on when it comes to scaling. So number 1 is understanding why you need to scale. You came from the right place. Number 2 is, if you really, really want to grow out of your local community, it's obviously important to have an organic strategy, but it's very, very important to have a paid strategy. And so everything about growing and scaling is about traffic and conversion. That's what it's all about. You want to grow an online business, you need traffic, and then you need to have a great offer to convert them, right? You want to sell products and services, you need traffic to your store. You need traffic. You need eyeballs and earballs. And then you have to have a great offer. What do you do once you get that traffic? You want to scale anything, it's about traffic and conversion. So the organic part sounds like you're doing great. I would definitely up my content output on LinkedIn. I mean, I'm talking video. Do you have LinkedIn Live yet?
I have applied and have not gotten it yet.
Okay, so have you seen my video on how to get LinkedIn Live?
I have, yes.
Okay, and so did you try to implement any of that and then reapply or no?
I haven't tried to reapply, but Yes, I have seen the video, and I should do that.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now, you need to create, I would say, 2 to 3 videos a week at least on LinkedIn, native videos, just talking about your cause, not selling, not pitching, not doing anything that even remotely close comes to a vibe of, what's this guy? Is this guy trying to sell me something? Like, no vibe like that. Zero. Just you talking straight from your chest about what you're passionate about, why you want to serve, how you serve, and how other people can be a part of that beautiful tribe, right? You need to build your tribe. You need to build your audience. And always, always, always have a strong CTA. And this is what I use. You can steal exactly what I say, because I say this in my videos, I say this in my live streams, that, hey, you know what? You don't have to subscribe to my newsletter, but if you never want to miss another video, never want to miss another live stream, never want to miss anything that I put out, I'm putting out brain-busting content every single day, every single week. You want to subscribe to our email list, because even if you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, my LinkedIn, following my LinkedIn hashtag or my LinkedIn page, you don't always get the notification, and it sometimes goes, unnoticed. So you use a strong CTA at the end of your videos, on LinkedIn.
I got this for 3 easy payments at $9.99.99 on there. Not on LinkedIn.
Yeah, no, none of that. I mean, look, you're a salesman, and believe you me, my conversion rate, if I get on the phone with a client, it's a 99% closed deal. I can sell with the best of them. I, as a matter of fact, in some ways, I think I'm the best salesman that ever lived. And I'm not saying that narcissistically. I'm saying that because, look, I believe in my product, and my product is me. You see, people get the wrong idea. People think, this is very important. Everybody write this down. Nobody wakes up and says, I can't wait to buy a course. Nobody wakes up and says, I can't wait to buy a fidget spinner, okay? Nobody buys things based on, logos, or based on, websites, or how cool do you think you are. People buy based on energy. People buy based on being inspired and that infectiousness. And so people buy you, okay? People hire you. They're not hiring your credentials. They're not hiring your documents or your diplomas or your master's degree. They're not hiring that. They're hiring because of your energy. And so when I get on the phone with a potential client who's going to buy a 5-figure product or service, or even multiple $1,000 service, why do I always convert them? Because I believe in me 1 billion%. Every molecule is inflamed with purpose in my body. And so selling, everybody has the wrong idea with selling. Selling is not, that negative connotation of salesy or car salesman. Selling is communicating mutual beneficial wins. That's what it is. It's just literally communicating, like, I have something that can help you. You're going to be able to allow me to take care of my kids, and you're going to get a ton of assistance with this, or I'm going to solve your problem, whatever that problem is. Even like entertainment solves a problem, right?
And that's the key is as a salesman myself, I sold air on radio. You sell on air. You literally selling nothing but some hope of a commercial. You have to believe 1,000% in that product, and it's imperative in that, because it goes back to what Professor Nez says. If you believe in it, and you believe in yourself, and they believe in you, and they're buying you, then there's no loss. I mean, it's impossible to lose in that situation.
Yeah, I love that. And Luis, if you're still here, I want to get to your question. And Luis, clarify, is this question for me, or is this question for Joe? What is your advice on others following in your footsteps? I mean, we could probably both answer that. But just to kind of button this up, if I may, Joe, and I hope this provides value, traffic and conversion. It's all about traffic and conversion. And the conversion part is not what you think. The conversion will happen if you absolutely smother them with value. The conversion will happen naturally. You don't have to sell a thing. And so, when I'm talking on the phone with a potential client, I don't feel like I'm selling. I'm just talking about something I love to talk about, which is everything that I do, right? Everything that I provide, helping them with their brand, helping them earn more money, helping them earn more impact. And so, now let's get more specific. Let's get more granular. Yes, write that down. Thank you. Let's get more specific, though. Well, how do I do that, Nez? How do I get more traffic and conversion? Like I said, there's two, just to make it simple, because there's all sorts of other variables, but there's two main highways, organic and paid. Those are the two highways, okay? And so the first highway, it sounds like you're doing great. Now, how's the podcast going?
The podcast, I'm 4 episodes in. It's going pretty well. It's been conceived well by the people that have been on and the people that are listening. I'd like the numbers to be up a little bit higher, but we all do when we first start. As a podcaster since 2006, I know it takes a long time to develop an audience, so I'm not worried about that. As somebody that's
the problem with podcasting is that iTunes has a terrible, Apple has a terrible search engine, so it's not really discoverable. It's almost like Twitch. You got to have a following or funnel the following. Now, Spotify may be getting better at this because I truly believe, everybody write this down too, I truly believe that Spotify is trying to compete with YouTube. I think Spotify is going to get into the video game.
1,000%.
Yeah, 100%. And when I say video game, I don't just mean posting videos of your music videos. I just mean posting videos of your podcast. I actually mean like a video platform. Because Spotify is not stupid. They know that audio is big, audio is huge, but they know that video is where it's at. Video is still the most popular form of content to consume. And look at Amazon, like Amazon Live. Amazon understands the power of video. And so with Spotify, their search engine, and I think they're investing a lot of R&D. Anytime you want to find out what a company's doing, look at their R&D. Just follow the money, right? And so their research and development, their R&D is focusing more, I think, on video and discoverability. So keep an eye on Spotify. That contract with Joe Rogan was not by accident.
And I would add to that the beauty of it is they are cohesively combining audio and video into one platform. If you watch Joe Rogan, I don't know about other people on there, but I feel he's the guinea pig. You can literally watch Joe Rogan while you're on Spotify or listen. It doesn't matter. And when you combine those two together, that's where I think the power is. And it's with the search and the fact that I can do the dishes and listen to Joe Rogan, or I could put it on my TV and listen to Joe Rogan pretty much.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Okay. So how do you do that? So organic and paid, right? And so, I definitely want you to up your game on LinkedIn.
Okay.
LinkedIn is the place for you because community, nonprofit, service, those kind of things, you need to get in front of the eyeballs of company decision makers to scale because somebody is going to watch you and be like, wow, I really like that. Somebody with a lot of money is going to catch one of your videos and be like, I really like his energy. I like where he's coming from. I have a ton of money. Let me see if I can maybe help this guy or invest in this guy or something or partner with this guy or even put him in contact with somebody who can. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so nothing is going to happen unless you show up. You have to show up. Now, nothing may happen by showing up, but you got to at least, you can't hit a home run unless you come to bat, right?
That's right.
And so that's really, really big. Go big on LinkedIn. And number 2, if you have some money that you can invest in Facebook, Instagram ads, YouTube pre-roll ads, that's really, really important. Now, the thing with Facebook and Instagram ads, and this goes for anybody who wants to fast track their brand or fast track their business, make sure that you really understand the art and science of these platforms because a lot of people have tried to do Facebook ads and Instagram ads and failed miserably, and then they never do it again, and they think it doesn't work. I am living proof that it works. I have been building my email list using Facebook and Instagram ads, and so it works. And also other things too, getting my products out there. And so if you don't, if you feel like that, you're kind of a tech dude, I think, Joe, you could probably figure it out. But the creative part is really tough. And so don't be afraid to find a Facebook ads expert and not one of these kind of scammy guys, but find somebody who is trustworthy and who has a great reputation who can maybe help you with that. Now, I learned Facebook ads and Instagram ads by watching a bunch of YouTube videos. And actually, just like anything in life, just by failing. I failed a million times with Facebook ads. Now I kind of know exactly who my target is and how to use the different functions and different objectives, traffic or conversions. And so you'll kind of learn that if you haven't. Have you engaged in any Facebook, Instagram ads at all?
Yeah, in the past, not with what I'm trying to do right now, but for other projects, yeah. But
I mean, if you have some money, you can invest in that. And by the way, guys, I want to get to your questions too, just really quickly. We're gonna wrap this up with Joe in a second, but leave your questions in the comments down below if you have any questions at all. Luis has a question for you, and I'm gonna let you answer that. But okay. Joe, just before we get to that, that's how you're going to really, if scaling is really your objective and you have the audacity like I do, that you can serve a larger community. I'm telling you right now, Joe, take advantage of paid traffic. You have to have a 2-part strategy, organic and paid traffic. And don't be dissuaded if there's any, don't be turned down or turned off if you don't see immediate success. You're not going to always see immediate success. And that's paid traffic is a whole other system that I've implemented in my whole processes that is imperative for anybody looking to grow their impact and income online. And so those are my kind of granular things. And just keep plugging away, man. Just do what you're doing right now. Like, you're getting exposure right now. You're offering value to communities. This is how you grow on Instagram, and this is how you grow on Clubhouse, right? Is you go into other communities, you don't have an ego, you don't think that your, stuff don't stink, and you have no sense of entitlement, and you're just there to offer value, maybe even volunteer to moderate or what have you, and don't expect anything in return. By showing up in communities like yours, it's just this beautiful kind of compound effect. It's this awesome, beautiful kind of result of just duplicating and growing, where you're becoming that community go-to individual. And so that's a great way to grow your business and brand as well, is by showing up in communities like yours and digging into the DMs and comments, especially the comments, or any live streams that they're having or Facebook groups that they're having, and just be that voice of, wow, every time Joe says something, it's really valuable. Just like you did with the Nez Nation family. Every time Joe shows up, he offers some amazing help, amazing value. Do that in other communities like yours. That's a great way to grow as well. Does that help, Joe?
Well, 100%. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And let me say, membership-wise, do you need that latte? Like, this is so much better. I would trade that latte.
Do you need that latte?
Do you need it? Come on.
No, you don't need it. Tell them, Joe, they don't need their latte. Well, hey, Joe, Luis has a question for you, which I think is really cool because, you've got a great background in what you're doing in radio and nonprofit. So Luis says, what is your advice on others following in your footsteps? And before you answer, Joe, I just want to let everybody know, leave your questions in the comments down below because we're going to continue the show. And, I want to answer all your questions. And Joe, this has just been phenomenal. I'm so happy to have you on us. But what do you think of Luis's question there? Can you answer that?
Absolutely. One thing that I'll say is what Professor Nez says all the time is so true, in the fact that we are our worst enemy. And we try and tell, this right here tries to tell us, don't do it. Don't do it. When you get to the point that you're ready to do it, you'll know. And when you take that step, you'll feel it. But for me, to be honest with you, it was years of working at the newspaper in my community and not being able to get the simple things to do the job that made me realize I can do this job myself and better serve my community. The moment that I shut off the job that I worked at and realized that it was not the spot for me, I walked in the next day, I picked up my phone, which was company issued, called my boss and said, I can't do this anymore. I'm taking a next step to do what I'm doing. You have to have that financial balance, right? And I'm very fortunate to have that just by the situation with my family. But also just find somebody that truly believes in what you're doing and continuously tell them that you can provide the value that you're doing right now at a grandiose scale. That's what I did with the nonprofits in my community. I said to them, listen, you guys are being underserved. This newspaper does not care for you. we don't have a local media outlet. Let me be that voice. In the moment that I convinced myself that that's what I'm supposed to do and that's the moment that I'm going to be there, there was no turning back. I couldn't make any other decision. So my advice would be, when you believe and you have the full conviction, you got to take that step sometimes, as scary as it can be. And yes, you have to protect yourself and do that. But once you can, just take the step. Just take the leap.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic advice. Thank you so much, Joe. I just want to say, brother, I'm so happy to have you as a member of our channel and just a member of the family. And you're always somebody who is welcome. You're always somebody who I love seeing in the chat. I love seeing in the comments. And so I look forward to, watching you grow and watching you expand your base and expand your impact. Because, you notice what I said at the beginning of the show. I love inspiring you to grow your impact and income online. Income's important. We need money. But you notice how impact comes first. And the funny thing is, the more you dive deep into impact, the money just beautifully follows. The more that I've cared about really actually being of service to my audience, magically the money just appears in my wallet. It's amazing how it works. And so growing impact and income, it's been such a pleasure having you on the show, Joe. Thank you so much for being here. Look at all these guys who love you. And so it's really, really great to have you, Joe. And I really appreciate you. And we hope to see you still in the chat and have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay, Joe?
Thank you, and my pleasure. And I want to give a shout out real quick to Silver Fox in the comments. She had her first live stream last week and has one on Monday. So,
cool yes, go to Silver Fox. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you, Joe. That's great. See, being a member of the community, man, and supporting the community, that's awesome. I will be there, Silver Fox, and let us know in the chat what time. All right, Joe. Thank you so much, man, for being here. I really, really appreciate it.
You bet.
And I hope we see you. I hope we see you in the chat.
Oh, I ain't going nowhere.
All right, thank you, brother. Isn't that dude just amazing? Isn't that dude just amazing? I just want to let you know, if you're just joining us, you're watching Office Hours with yours truly, your personal branding coach, Professor Nez. We go live every single Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And this is a show where I answer your questions about how to grow your impact and income online. Whether you're a career professional, whether you're an online business, or you're thinking about starting an online business, you're thinking about doing your own thing, you want to brand yourself better on LinkedIn, to advance your career or any other medium, this is the show for you. And so it's just an absolute honor to have Joe on the show, who is just absolute fire. And, what a great member of the community. And I hope that was helpful to a lot of you guys too. Let me know in the comments down below if that was something that, you'd be interested in. Because again, Joe is a member of this channel and I'm offering more perks. And so here's my plan. My plan is each week, or maybe every other week, to bring more members online to get free coaching from yours truly. And so if you become a member of my channel here on YouTube, not only do you get the private live streams in the private Facebook group, which is essentially group coaching, but you're also going to get opportunities to come on the show, get exposure, get a shout out, and actually get some help with your brand and your business. I've been doing this for over 2 decades. And so I've been in the online game. I've been in business and communications and storytelling for over 20 years. So I'm here to bring that. I'm here to bring that to you. So very, very excited to have Joe on the show. He's just a phenomenal, phenomenal dude. Let me know if you have any other questions. Let me know if you have any other questions, about anything. Let me know in the chat down below. I want to get to your questions. That was a great question by Luis, asking about, asking. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Chris. Chris says so much value. That was a great question by Louise. Thank you for asking that. Thank you so much, Silver Fox. And by the way, Silver Fox, did you let us know when your show is? Tomorrow, Monday. I want to be there. I want to try to be there if I can. Definitely. Yes, I would love to have you. I would love to have you, Silver Fox. Silver Fox, you should have been a member months ago. Come on, girl. I'm just teasing. And by the way, I want to be very clear. I'm going to continue bringing you the best free content on planet Earth. I'm only simply offering that because the only reason, it's not about the money. The only reason I offered a membership is because so many of you wanted consulting and so many wanted you that personal coaching. And the thing is I've got clients, I've got a business to run where I do that. And so my time is money. I hope you understand. And so this was my way of offering a way of getting more access to me without paying, so much for those services. And so I hope you understand that. I hope that makes a lot of sense. Bri, it's good to see you. Good to see you, Bri. I appreciate the content. I'm enjoying it. Awesome, man. Awesome. Do you have any questions at all? And I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, if that's Brian, I might be incorrect. I apologize. Okay, so Silver Fox's show is at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. You know what? I am going to do my darndest to be there. That's usually a time on Mondays that's pretty packed for me because I am teaching an online course at one of the universities here in Southern California during that time, but I'm going to try my best to be there towards the tail end. So fantastic. If not earlier, I'll try. That's awesome. But yeah, everybody go check out Silver Fox. She's been an amazing member of this community, and it's just so awesome to have you here. If you see the lighting change in the background, this isn't it. You're not in a club. I don't have my studio lights on. I usually don't have my studio lights on when I'm doing the live show, and so I'm just using the natural light coming in from the windows. And so you may see the lighting change from amber to soft lighting because of the overcast. So it's not that wasn't done on purpose. That's the almighty gaffer, the almighty lighting director up above. Yeah, so great to see you. Yeah, and another thing too is if you missed it earlier, I talked about YouTube Shorts, and I'm creating a separate channel for my YouTube Shorts, and that's in the pinned comment on YouTube. If you're on LinkedIn or watching this on Periscope, watching this on Twitch, it's in the pinned comment, or you can just go to Google or go to YouTube and just search Professor Nez Shorts, and the channel will come up. I would love for you to subscribe and tell me what kind of content you want for that Shorts channel. Fantastic, Bri. Fantastic, Bri. Gary says, hey, Nez, did you see the report that IG may consolidate video formats? Holy macadamia nut. You know what? I did not. But you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. I'm going to Google that right now and see if I can, let's see what's going on here. No, I didn't. Do you mind giving us a little background on that, Gary? If you don't mind, thank you. Look at this. Now hear this, breaking news. Let's see here. Consolidating formats. Let's see. Instagram. Let me see if I can find that out, and I'll give you some comments. Oh, okay. I see it right here. So Verge says, let me see, and I'll screen share here so we can all see this. So, that's really interesting. So it says here that Instagram says he's not happy with Reels and might consolidate video format. So Reels was another, wow, it's interesting underneath there where it says, that's so interesting because it actually says, we have to be honest, TikTok is ahead. Yeah, man, everybody is running for the hills. Everybody is running for the hills when it comes to TikTok. I mean, YouTube as well. Bri, I want to get to your question. And Silver Fox, I want to get to your question too. Everybody is running for the hills when it comes to, it's the same thing, that Netflix did for Hollywood. Netflix, disrupted Hollywood, and TikTok has disrupted all these major platforms. I'm surprised that Amazon hasn't bought TikTok, or somebody hasn't. I thought that Microsoft was going to buy them. I don't know what's going on with that. It's going to be interesting to see, who buys Clubhouse, because I feel like somebody is going to buy Clubhouse. Okay, Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, isn't thrilled with the platform's TikTok competitor Reels. Okay, I'm not happy with it. We're growing both in terms of how much people are sharing, how much people are consuming, but we have a long way to go. We have to be honest that TikTok is ahead. He went on to say the team is mostly focused on table stakes right now. He calls TikTok's innovative creative tools like filters. Okay, let's see. I think we have to get better. Okay, this is what he says here. I think we have to get better at building more powerful and creative tools that aren't necessarily a meme or a sort of a moment in a package, but give people who are more creative than us and make content for a living the ability to make something that's going to pop. Okay, so they're seeing a little bit more. I have a lot to say about this, by the way. He says they're seeing a conflict between its many different video formats. They don't even know the difference between Instagram, IG, TV, and Reel. Yeah, see, that's the thing about TikTok is super simple. Are you going to create a 15-second video, a 60-second video? It's just right there, you know. This is what happens, I think, when you try to copy everybody else, okay? Now, they won with stories, but, you know, you don't have to do that every single time. And so let me come back here to my new lighting, the amber lighting. I kind of like this. Like, I've got the soft lighting, I've got the amber lighting. So this is what happens when you try to steal all the time. And I'm not saying, look, Instagram is obviously super successful. And I am too, Luis. I totally agree. Luis says, #hooked on Clubhouse. It's so great to see you here too, Luis. Keep showing up. I'm going to make you a mod, okay, Luis? Not yet. You have to earn it. No, I'm kidding. But Luis and I have connected on Clubhouse. I'm such a big fan of yours, Luis. Great to see you, brother. You know, IGTV was a major failure. I don't even really do IGTV anymore. Instagram stories to me and the feed post is pretty much all I do. I did a couple reels back in the summer when it first came out, but it was just a waste of time for me. I didn't really see any traction. I would just much rather post on TikTok. It just seemed so obvious. And the user interface, you got to create as less friction as possible. You want to make more sales, you want to convert more, you want more traffic, you want more engagement, you want more audience. Frictionless environments. You've got to create frictionless environments. I don't even like Instagram's new interface. It's like, okay, the heart button's over here. I've got IGTV, I got shop, I've got profile, I got stories. What am I doing? It's just Instagram, chill out. Instagram, chill out. Just make it simple. Just make it easy. That's all you got to do. It's very, very simple. And so I think that's interesting. That was that true, Joe? What are you saying here? Breaking news: FB to tie all TikTok algo to FBO platforms. Is that a joke? I think that's a joke, right? So that's great, Gary. Thank you so much. Yeah, I actually feel like they should. I think they should just. I even think maybe even get rid of IGTV, or at least. I don't know. I think stories in the feed is really what matters most. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. There might be some people who are like, man, I'm blowing up on IGTV. I was so excited, by the way, by IGTV that I literally stopped everything when it first came out. I think back in 2018, I think it was spring of 2018. Oh, no, because I went to VidCon. It was summer, I think, maybe. I could be wrong, but I went to VidCon. And this is when I was vlogging on my YouTube channel a lot. I went to VidCon and I did an entire IGTV vlog from VidCon because I was so excited because they had description, they had thumbnail opportunity. I thought, whoa, this is, just like kind of everything new, you kind of get too excited. Oh, was it really? Gary says that's how we got connected was because of IGTV. Okay, maybe I should continue doing IGTV. Because it's been an honor connecting with you, Gary. That's for sure. I want to get to this question right here, but before I do, I think Instagram needs to simplify. I think simple is better. Look at In-N-Out. The reason why In-N-Out is the #1 fast food restaurant in the world, and they don't even have, any restaurants on the East Coast. Why In-N-Out is got lines from here to Bethlehem in their drive-through. Is because it's just simplicity, frictionless. It's very easy. It's very comprehensive. You need to make it easy for your audience to figure out who you are, what you do, and why they can't swipe away or bounce off, why they should opt in. Clarity in your messaging is everything. I love to inspire. individuals and businesses to grow their impact and income online. That's it. I'm a personal branding coach, online business strategist, executive career coach. That's my value proposition. I want to help you, inspire you to grow your impact and income online. Period. Very simple. Boom. You know exactly what you're here for. You know exactly what you need. Now, look at yourself and your own brand with that same lens. Is it simple? Take off your business hat, take off your creator hat, put on your customer hat, put on your audience or your viewer hat. Look from the perspective, put yourself in the shoes of your ideal customer avatar, your ICA. Do they see the same thing that you do? Does it make sense? So yeah, it's interesting to see what happens with that, Gary. Consolidation, to me, says simplification, and I think it's very necessary. Okay, Bri. Bri says, so in your opinion, for a person who is starting to do YouTube, to do my first video next week, should I worry about thinking about using LinkedIn for Periscope video? Bri, clarify that. That's kind of a funky question. I don't even know where you're going with that. And I want to try to offer as much help as possible. But please clarify that. Are you saying that you should be doing LinkedIn and Periscope at the same time as YouTube, or what are you trying to ask me there? Silver Fox says, I'm working on captions using StreamYard. Your thoughts? Like captions on the replay or captions during the live stream? How are you working on that? I would say it's a great idea because a lot of people watch video, especially replays, with the sound turned off. So I would say that's a fantastic idea. Okay, so Bri, it looks like you clarified that. At least I hope so. Let me read this question here. In your opinion, should a person who is about to start a YouTube channel, I'm going to do my first video this week, should I also do videos on Periscope and LinkedIn? Not necessarily. It depends on you. It depends on what you want. Not necessarily. You don't have to. Just start on YouTube. Focus on YouTube. It depends on your objective and your goal. Like, what do you want to see happen? Now, a lot of people, and I think I can answer this on a different, kind of from a personal perspective, which I think will be powerful. But a lot of things that's really, really important. KD in the house. Good to see you, KD. KD, Kenneth Dunner Jr. from Sugarland, Texas. My main man. Good to see you. He's like that dude that follows around Mike Tyson, you know, the hype man. I love you, KD. I absolutely love you. Happy belated 2021, Professor Nez. Mr. Suave. He wants me to read this whole thing or he'll get mad at me. Sophisticated, stellar gentleman, a scholarly, articulated, eloquent human being who is also intelligently, gorgeously handsome, looking and so. I mean, dude, I need to hire you, Ken. You gotta follow me around, Kenneth. You're just embarrassing me, man. I love it. Now here's, just to get back to this question real fast, Brian, I want to answer all your questions. But, you know, a lot of people will say, don't spread yourself out too thin. You know, don't do videos on LinkedIn and YouTube and all these different places. Now, for me, I think if you really, my goal is to not only do this full time, which I am pretty much, I'm doing it full time. I mean, I am. I'm doing my online business. I'm doing my content creation, YouTube full time. But I want to continue to do it full time. So I've sacrificed a lot of things like hanging out with friends, going to the bar, doing nothing on weekends, watching too much TV or going to concerts. Well, you can't do any of that stuff anyway. You know, it's just my family and my business. That's literally my family first and then my business. And this is my business. I run a media company. I run an agency. It's literally my business. I consider it through that lens, that perspective. You know, I used to make fun of my dad. How many of you guys can relate to me? Let me know in the chat down below. Give me a 1 in the chat down below if you can relate to this. I used to make fun of my dad all the time. Or give me a hashtag me. Actually, give me a hashtag me. You know, Dad, you don't have any, how come you don't hang out with your friends? Like, you remember being in your 20s and like you were a teenager? The thought of not hanging out with your friends was like a death sentence. Do you remember that? And so I used to look at my dad in this forlorn kind of tragic way, like, Dad, all you do is work, and then you cook, and then you hang out with us. Like, what about your friends? Don't you have any friends? And actually, he was my age then, you know, he was in his 40s. And I just couldn't fathom not hanging out with friends. Now I totally understand. I totally get why because you're just too damn busy. And if you have certain goals and you're committed, and I'm not saying you don't ever see your friends. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying is I sacrificed a lot of things that didn't enable me to be where I am today. And I'm just going to be completely honest with you, Bri. If your goal is to do this full time, if you want to grow your impact and income online and potentially do this for the rest of your life or do it for a long time, it's the hardest thing on planet Earth. Running a business, and it is a business, right? The business of content creation, earning income, monetization, that's a business. You have to think with a business mindset. It's the hardest thing on planet Earth. And I'm not adverse to hard work. I love hard work. And as my man Gary Cantrell says, hard work always wins. Hard work always wins. He's absolutely right. One of my favorite sayings of all time. My man Gary Cantrell, hard work always wins. So it's the hardest thing on planet Earth. You got to sacrifice. When you're a W-2 earner, when I say W-2 earner, somebody who works for a company and gets a paycheck every 2 weeks, there's a punch out time. You don't have to work past 5 o'clock. Once 5 o'clock hits, you get to go home and relax and not think about work. It's just not like that running a business. It's just not like that. I'm sorry. It's not. It's a 24/7, 365. There's always somebody trying to gun for you, trying to outdo you, trying to work harder than you. It's the hardest sport. It's the hardest thing on planet Earth. Just last night, I was on my laptop till like 2 a.m, creating my new channel, creating my new banner for my shorts channel, right? I'm sending out emails, working on my Facebook ads, creating content, coming up with video ideas, servicing my clients, emailing my clients, it's just, so this is why it's important to identify your purpose, not just something you love, because purpose not only pays the bills, but purpose is bigger than happiness, because happiness is fleeting. Happiness comes and goes, but purpose is rock solid in your chest and never leaves. It's your calling. It's what you were meant to do on this blue-green earth. And if you create a business and brand around your purpose, watch what happens. Not only will the money be plentiful, but the joy, the fruits of that labor are plentiful as well. And there's never any burnout. Because when you come with a mission rather than a hobby, when you come from a mission rather than a passion, it's going to outlast everything. That's a promise. It's going to outlast everything. Very, very important. Okay, thank you so much, Bri. So Bri clarifies, I'd rather attempt to help people and hopefully make a profit than to work at 9 to 5. Okay, good. So your goal is to turn this full time. Well, hopefully that helped. I really hope that helped a lot. Really appreciate it. Yes, absolutely. KD in the house. KD Jr. KD Jr. I want to see that check, Gary. I want to see that check, baby. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of people, it's not for everybody, right? I mean, it's definitely not for everybody, but it's more than possible. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing special about Nez, y'all. There's nothing even original about me. There's nothing even, don't ever forget this. Persistence will outdo talent any day of the week. Dedication, persistence, showing up, hard work beats talent. Now, if you got talent and you back that up with, groundbreaking, sweating, toiling, bleeding hard work, you're invincible. You're bulletproof, y'all. Nothing's going to stop you. And I really hope that helps. Don't you love my different lighting schematics here? As the sun and the cloud. We had some rain here in Southern California. I think it's kind of cool, actually. Yes, absolutely. Dexter, Joe says, hard work is undefeated, and there's no father time that can take it away from you. Absolutely. I love the way you said that. Silver Fox says, watch for burnout. It's nonstop. Get those workflows down. Yes, absolutely. Just really quickly, if you're just joining us, y'all, you're watching Office Hours with yours truly, Professor Nez. Now, we have 2 segments to this show, by the way. Our Nez Nation live stream podcast, We've got this show, which is every Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, where it's just a live Q&A. You ask me questions, and hopefully I give you answers that help. Sometimes I'll bring on members to get some free coaching and also help you too, because their struggles are our struggles and we can learn from that. And so I love doing that. And then the second part of our show is our actual kind of interview show. Go to Apple, go to Spotify. There's links in the description where I bring on guests. Do you guys know who Daryl Eves is? One of the probably top dogs at YouTube, been on YouTube since 2005. He was our first guest of 2021. And if you haven't seen that replay, that show, if you're at all serious about YouTube, you got to go watch that interview with Daryl. That interview with Daryl was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal. I literally watched that because, when you're interviewing and hosting a show, you're pretty much doing a million things at once, right? And so, I was just absolutely blown away by how amazing the information that Daryl was dropping on how to grow on YouTube, because it was just phenomenal. Nalula, good to see you, Nalula. Nalula, you made it. Good to see you. It was phenomenal. And so I literally, my wife was making fun of me. She's like, "You're taking notes? Weren't you there? Weren't you there in the show, hosting the show? Wasn't he your guest?" I'm trying to get to the homepage here if I can actually find. I wanted to find the actual show, if you will. But yeah, so here's another segment of our show, and you can see. Let me just kind of screen share real fast. This is the homepage of my YouTube channel. But I just want to show you, because we do this show every Sunday, which is office hours, where you can ask me anything. But, we also do this as well. And so I just want to share this. This is, this is a playlist on my channel right there. And you can see Daryl Eves was the most recent video. We've had great shows with Chris Brogan, who's been in the online game longer than I have, 30 years, 25 years. We had a very, very a New York Times best-selling author, Jeff Gotthelf, talking about how you can be forever employable. I mean, these are insane shows. So there's two segments to our live stream podcast, right? And so I've got links. If you haven't subscribed to us on Apple, or you haven't subscribed to us on Spotify, make sure you do, because I'm bringing out new shows. All of these live streams get, repurposed on the podcast with actual context. But that show was just phenomenal. The last one that we did, if you see that most recent show, YouTube Growth 2021, How to Grow on YouTube, that show was absolutely phenomenal. And so obviously, and if you haven't seen it yet, my most recent video, which I think is just really powerful. I've been talking a lot about Clubhouse. I know you guys have been on Clubhouse, but, I was in a room with Mr. Beast, and I think some of you guys were there. Maybe Luis, if Luis is still here, he might have been there, I think. And he was just dropped. That's an actual screenshot in that thumbnail. That's an actual screenshot of the room that I was in. He actually titled it "How to Become a YouTuber." And I took mad notes while he was talking. And he literally would bring people up on stage, and he would just, if you don't know how Clubhouse works, you bring people on stage and then you ask questions or they're a part of the conversation. He would literally bring people up on stage and go look at their channel and literally give them advice like, "Oh, your video's not interesting, your title, your thumbnail. I watched the first 30 seconds. It was unbelievable. So in this video that's on my YouTube channel, Mr. Beast Teaches YouTube on Clubhouse, I literally, if you weren't there, you don't need to be, because I literally took massive notes. So go check out that video. Maybe Joe could actually put that in the comments, a link to that video, if you don't mind, Joe, if you're still here. But man, that video, I'm so proud of that video, because the average view duration and the retention, the title, everything is just green arrows across the board, which I'm really proud of. And, it's just great advice. I mean, if you're thinking about YouTube, if you're serious at all about YouTube, those two videos, the interview with Daryl, and then my most recent one, which is only like 12 minutes or 15 minutes, the most recent video. Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate it. Yes, Luis was there. Yes, Luis was there. Fantastic. And so, it's just fantastic. Yeah, Mr. Camera Junkie. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so we got two Luises. We got Luis from Tech for Your Needs, who's been with me since Periscope days. We're talking 2015. Great to see you, Luis. But I'm also talking about Luis Vega, Mr. Camera Junkie, who is also Luis. Yeah, fantastic. Bry says, yeah, I watched it. It was a dope video that you broke down the information that he was talking about. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Bry. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, Mr. Camera Junkie is awesome. He's he's a great member of our Nez Nation family. And yes, please smash the like button, smash it, and subscribe. How many do we have so far? I want to see how many likes we have so far. Let's try to get more. Let's try to get more. Now, I actually asked Daryl this. On the show, and I think maybe even somebody else did too. Thank you, Joe, for pinning that. I mean, not pinning it, but thank you, Joe, for sharing that in the comments. So Joe shared a link to the video in the comments on YouTube. If you're watching this on LinkedIn or Facebook, he shared a link to the video in the comments. So I really, really appreciate that. Thank you, Joe. Yes. So I asked. So Daryl said that I defer to people who've been on the platform longer than me. Obviously, I feel like I know a lot about YouTube. The last 4 years I've been on YouTube pretty much every single day, 7 days a week, 365. And so I feel I have a real kind of nice treasure trove of knowledge on YouTube. But I actually, one thing that Daryl said that people should not be focusing on is the metric of likes and comments. Even though he said that's good, he said that's great to get likes and comments, but he said that's not something that YouTube it's not groundbreaking to explode your channel, which I thought was so interesting. Because you hear every YouTuber, even Mr. Beast say subscribe. I mean, actually, I don't think, now that I think about it, I don't think Mr. Beast ever says hit that like button, does he? Does anybody know? Because my kids and we watch Mr. Beast videos all the time. I don't think he actually ever says hit the like button. But I do know that, any engagement helps. And so I love it if you would hit that like button. It really means a lot to me. Smash, AKA, as Charlie Dog calls it, the smash button. Is Charlie Dog still here? Charlie, where you at? Charlie Dog in the house. I'm an old man, so I got to put on my glasses. I can't see a darn thing. Speaking of father time. Hi, I'm Professor Nez, and I'm just an old man here on YouTube. Thank you, Nalula. I really appreciate it. Nalula in the house. I met Nalula on Clubhouse, and Nalula is a fantastic, fantastic individual. Great to have you with us. Yeah, absolutely. Connect with, this is what I love about our Nez Nation family. See, when you come to a Nez Nation live stream, y'all, you're not just getting me, who's been in this game for decades, but you're getting amazing people in the chat. We're talking content creators, podcasters, live streamers, business owners, executives, professionals. I mean, it's unbelievable when you come to a Nez Nation live stream. We're bringing more humanness to this digitalness. Anybody who disses, the online space or the digital ecosystem needs to come to a Nez Nation live stream, and that will completely obliterate all your doubts about the powerful thing called the internet. And so it's just absolutely fantastic. Chris Jones, he says, you are not old. I am. No, Chris. You've got the mind, body, and spirit of a 15-year-old, man. I love your energy. Chris has great energy on LinkedIn. It's so great to see you, man. I love it. So yeah, go check out those videos. Go check out, all of those videos that we just published recently, which I think are going to be absolutely fantastic. Yes, there you go, Luis. Luis says, call to action. If I brought you value and you like what you see, subscribe. Yeah, Mr. Camera Junkie. I love that name, by the way, Mr. Camera Junkie. That's great. Another thing too, because I know a lot of you guys, this has really hit you on a deep level, listening on the podcast, watching on the replay, or watching right now. You may not be aware, but if any of this stuff has hit you in your chest, if any of this stuff has helped you at all or brought you value, another thing, here's a call to action for you, Luis. Go check out my online academy, beyondtheboxacademy.com. We've got courses in there that help you with business, branding, communication, mindset, how to earn money online in a very easy, simple, step-by-step way that are over 60% off. These are courses that are usually thousands of dollars. Now they've been reduced because of COVID. I felt like I had to do it, literally just to a couple $100s. So go to beyondtheboxacademy.com. That is my personal online academy. Another business that I take very, very seriously, where you can learn everything you need, step by step, certified, how to grow your impact and income online and get yourself out of your own way, whether it's to advance your career or start and scale an online business. Go to beyondtheboxacademy.com. Okay. And you'll see links to that in the show notes and links to that in the description. And I hope that I hope to see you over there. School is in session, y'all. Again, really quickly, just to let you know what you're watching here. You're watching Office Hours with yours truly. I am your personal branding coach, Professor Nez. We go live every Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you hit the notifications. Now, if you don't ever want to miss a notification again, I'm going to leave this in the comments because I told, if I'm a man of my word, I practice what I preach, right? And so I want to share with you a way, because I know that you guys don't always get this. I know you don't. I know you don't always get the notifications. If I say hit the notifications, which you should, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to always get all the notifications. So if you really never want to miss another live stream or video or blog or podcast, then you want to make sure that you subscribe to our newsletter, okay? And I'm going to leave a link right there in the chat. Make sure that you put your email in there. And so, because I broadcast all the time, when we go live, when a new video pops, it goes straight to your inbox. So consider subscribing to our newsletter. There's also a link in the description, but I just left it in the comments. And there's a link in the show notes as well. And so I just left a link in the comments. Thank you so much, Joe. Joe, you are the mod of all mods, man. Love it. Thank you so much, Joe. I really, really appreciate it. And so that way you don't miss anything. That way, I put out a broadcast. How many of you came from my email list? I mean, I know it's kind of late in the show. Some of you might have left. But I also sent out a broadcast to let you guys know I'm going live too. And so really, really excited. Really powerful thing that everybody needs to implement. I don't care if you're a brick and mortar business. I don't care if you have nothing to do with the online space. Emails are absolutely fantastic. So you got to make sure that you build your email list. Yes. KD says, you're not old. You're well seasoned. Savor the flavor, baby. KD, I'm so proud of you, man. From Sugarland, Texas, my main man, KD, in the house. Does anybody have any last second questions? I'm going to get out of here. I got to go to a client meeting very soon, and then I got to take my kids to their grandparents' house. Does anybody have any questions, any comments, anything at all? Any last minute questions? I'm happy to answer any questions. We've been live now for almost an hour and a half. Usually this show is about 60 minutes or a little bit over 60 minutes, but you know me, I don't watch clocks. I'm not a clock watcher. I don't watch clocks. I try to provide as much value, and I just love being here with you guys every single week. I love being here with you guys every single week. It just makes my world come alive to hang out with y'all and hopefully help, inspire more than anything. Forget everything else. I'm not trying to teach you anything. I'm hoping to inspire, because inspire is more powerful. I've said this before. When you try to teach me something, it's like, I'm going to teach you something. I usually kind of take a step back. I'm not into that. But if you inspire me, I'm a slave for life. I will follow you to the ends of the earth. Those of you that inspire me, move something in me that is lasting, and it's permanent. It's a permanent effect on me. And so I'm hoping to God more than anything, not to teach you, not to show you, not to even provide value, but just to really inspire you. Value is kind of another word that gets super abused. Oh, we got a question. We got a question from, I want to get to, so Mr. Camera Junkie says, when are you coming to South Florida? I'm going to come as soon as this COVID crap is over. You and me, Luis, together, forget about it. I mean, we might get banned from South Florida. I'm coming to hang out with you, Luis. Nalula says, you may have already said this, but will this also be on your podcast? Yes. Every one of these shows goes on the podcast. The interview show is already on the podcast. So you want to go to what you want to definitely do is now we have a podcast on. Let me just show you this really quick, Nalula, and I'll leave a link in the description. I'll leave a link in the comments. Now we actually have so the main ones that I actually do, and let me just screen share real fast. But the main ones that I do, because I think that these are probably the most dominant, are I do Apple and what I do is I do Apple and Spotify. I almost said Spodcast. So we do those are kind of the two main ones, right? And so I'll leave a link to this on my website, but also if you ever want to, we have a presence on Stitcher. We have a presence on, Radio Public. We have a presence on Google Podcasts as well. If you listen to podcasts on Google, the reason that I mostly just kind of promote Spotify and Apple is because that seems to be the two main places. Those are sort of like the two big dogs that most people listen to their podcasts. So this will definitely, and Nalula, if you missed it, anybody who missed it, actually, anybody who missed the coaching call that we had with my main man, Joe Dexter, you definitely want to re-listen and re-watch because there was some amazing. We literally did an on-air coaching call with Joe, who's a member of our channel, and so we did an on-air coaching call with him, and so you definitely don't want to miss that. Where he asked some very poignant questions about growing, scaling his business, or increasing his impact and income. And so you definitely want to go listen to the replay when it gets this show will get posted. If you're listening to this on the podcast, it's obviously already posted. But what usually happens is it gets recorded live on Sundays, and then I'll post it on the podcast on Mondays. So the very next day, it'll get posted on the podcast. And by the way, there's a ton of old shows. When I say old, I mean previous week shows where there's it's like having a free university in your eardrums, a free branding and business and make more money university in your eardrums. I mean, what's better than that? And so thank you so much, Silver Fox. I really appreciate you, Silver Fox. Thank you so much for being here. But, thank you so much, KD. I mean, it's literally having it's like having the most amazing, it's like having a Harvard MBA in your eardrums for free. And we put out new content. We put out new podcast episodes every single week. Not only this live stream show, but other podcast episodes too, that are related to branding, mindset, and business. So make sure you definitely subscribe to the podcast on your Apple. If you just go to Apple and you see that logo, or Spotify, if you just type in Nez Nation Live, or you just type in my name, Professor Nez, you'll see the podcast too. You don't even have to go to the link, but I put a link in the comments too. Okay, guys, I just want to say a absolute huge thank you to all of you guys for being here. It has been, wow. I just love being here with you guys every single week. And so I want to give a huge, huge thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. And I hope to see you guys more and more on the channel. I hope to see you guys on the podcast. I hope to see you guys next week. Don't forget, hit the bell notification, hit subscribe every single Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's live Q&A. You can ask me anything about your brand, your business, your career, how to grow your impact and income online. I'm yours every single Sunday. And don't forget, we have great guests that come on periodically as well. And so a huge, huge thank you to you. I love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we'll see you guys next time.